Oh hey, it's time for another video? Okay, let's do it. How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Linkachu back with another video, and today we're going to be doing a very different video from unboxings. Normally when I sit here we're doing an unboxing, but today we're doing something slightly more original and creative. 2021 was a crazy year, not just for me, but for a lot of people. But most especially video games, and anime, and manga. This past year I consumed a lot of media, and I mean a lot. I am what they would call a consumer, I think. So today I'm going to talk about all the video games, anime, and manga that I read, watched, and played in that order. So how this is going to work is I'm going to list out all the video games, anime, and manga, and then I'm going to give you my top 5. And when I'm listing them, I'm not going to go very in detail, or really at all, and just going to focus on listing. Because this video is already going to be very long, because I consume so much, and there's so many series to talk about. And I figured since I've played, watched, and read all these video games, anime, and manga, that I might as well just talk about them, or at least mention them in some shape or form. So be sure to use the timestamps in the description if you're more interested in certain sections of the video. And as far as the list goes, the list is not exclusively to games, anime, or manga released in 2021, but what I consumed in 2021, which means there could be a game from 2001, and I don't think there's anything from 2001 on this list. But with that being said, let's dive in. So first we'll be starting with the video games. In 2021, I played about 30 different video games, and I beat about 20 games. So let's just jump into this list. This first game on this list is Metal Gear Solid 3 on the 3DS. Great game, just don't play it on the 3DS. Next is Xenoblade Chronicles Futures Connected, which is the expansion for the Switch version of Xenoblade Chronicles. Then I started playing Final Fantasy XIV online, and now just recently got back into it, and I'm completely obsessed right now. Yakuza Like a Dragon. I have plenty to say about that game, and I have a complete video on it. So if you want to hear more of my thoughts on Yakuza Like a Dragon, be sure to go check out my video on it. I delved quite deep into that game and how much I loved it. Then I started my Kingdom Hearts binge with Kingdom Hearts 2, and then Birth by Sleep, which is actually my favorite Kingdom Hearts game. It was such an amazing game. It's definitely the best out of the series in my opinion. Then Dream Drop Distance, and this one's a mouthful. 0.2 Birth by Sleep, A Fragmentary Passage. And then Kingdom Hearts 3, which I've still yet to finish. Then I played Kirby's Mass Attack and finished that one. Obsu was a super short game but really beautiful. New Pokemon Snap, Mega Man 02, I'm still slowly working through the Mega Man 0 collection. Ender Lilies was an amazing game that I never ended up finishing, and that was because I planned on making a video, but I ended up stressing myself out and never finishing it. Mario Golf Super Rush was great, which was quickly followed by Skyward Sword HD and Pokemon Unite. There was a lot of big releases for Nintendo in the summer. Then I started Tales of Berseria, and then immediately got obsessed with the Rhythm Heaven series. I can't explain it, they're very good. Then WarioWare Get It Together came out on the Switch. Super short game, but amazing. Deltarune Chapter 2 was also phenomenal. Sin and Punishment was a super short game that came out on the Nintendo 64 Switch Online, which is super amazing. It's a great rail shooter and super short. I definitely recommend playing it, most especially if you have the Switch Online expansion. Then I started playing Metroid Dread and recently finished it. Amazing game. Halo Infinite. Not the campaign, just exclusively the online multiplayer, which I've been playing a bunch of because I grew up on Halo. Yakuza Kiwami 2, which ended up being the first game I finished in 2022. That rhymed, and also that's a bit of spoilers for next year's videos. Whoops. Code Vein, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Persona 5. Somehow I managed to finish that game. And of course, some Animal Crossing. Gotta pick up some Animal Crossing and play it every year. Shin Megami Tensei 5, I recently just started. I worked on a bit of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I've been playing that game since it first came out back in 2018, and somehow I have still yet to finish it. I'm so close. I'm actually so close to finishing that game. This is the year I'm gonna finish it, I swear. Oracle of Ages, I was really enjoying that until I got stuck on a mandatory rhythm game, which is really hard. I played a bit of Genshin Impact. And yeah, those were the games I played this year. Just some games that I want to mention that I'm looking forward to playing hopefully next year. Or now this year. Omori, Dragon Quest XI, Death Stranding, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I might just wait till it releases on PC to play the DLC, the integrated DLC. Nier Automata, and there's plenty of brand new games coming out this year, like Pokemon Legends Arceus and Breath of the Wild 2 and Advance Wars on Switch. This year is going to be great for gaming, and I'm very excited already. And with the list being done, let's jump into my top 5 games of 2021. Number 5 goes to Birth by Sleep. Not only was it one of my favorite Kingdom Hearts games, but I very, very thoroughly enjoyed it enough to play all 3 routes. And it's not mandatory. You only have to play through the game like once, but I ended up playing through all 3. I enjoyed it that much, which I normally just don't do that with games. Number 4 goes to Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. And yes, I've still only played the 3DS version. Although I played it on the 3DS, it was still a phenomenal experience. Hideo Kojima, just his storytelling, that game was phenomenal. I can't wait to replay it, and I'm going to have to replay it on a better release of that game. And the 3DS version still managed to portray how amazing that game is. Number 3 goes to Metroid Dread. I recently finished that over Christmas, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I very, very much enjoyed it. Metroid Dread was my first Metroid game, and I'm very excited to try out and play the rest of the series and hopefully dive into more Metroid games. Number 2 goes to Persona 5. This game just absolutely stole my heart, and it has to be one of the best games I have ever played in my life. And you wonder why it's at number 2? Well, that's because number 1 is Yakuza Like a Dragon. And choosing between Yakuza Like a Dragon and Persona 5 was incredibly tough. I both love those games so very much, and they do so much for me. And choosing between the number 2 and number 1 spot was splitting hairs. And with that being said, let's move on to anime and manga. 2021 really kicked my ass, and to help with the ass whooping I was getting from 2021, I delved into reading a lot of anime and manga to keep myself distracted and to help deal with a lot of what 2021 threw at me. Now I'm just going to list out all the anime I watched and then give you the top 5, as well as I'm going to tell you the score I gave them on AniList. Saint Youngmen, Nisekoi, Bakuman, Attack on Titan Season 3 and Season 3 Part 2, as well as Attack on Titan Final Season, Demon Slayer, The Boy and the Beast, Nausicaa of the Valley in the Wind, My Neighbor Totoro, Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation, ReZero Season 2 Part 2. Those are probably the only 2 isekai anime that I really like. Vinland Saga, super duper good. Jujutsu Kaisen, Saint Seiya The Hades Chapters, Sanctuary, Kiki's Delivery Service, Skate the Infinity, bottom tier character Tomazaki, Way of the House Husband Season 1, Evangelion 1.0 You Are Not Alone, Evangelion 2.0 You Cannot Advance, Evangelion 3.0 You Cannot Redo. I had a binge session of all the Eva rebuilds, super amazing. Heaven's Design Team, Toradora, Vivi's Fluorite Eye Song, Josie the Tiger and the Fish, Assassination Classroom, Odd Taxi, Bakuman Season 2 and Bakuman Season 3, Demon Slayer Mugen Train, Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 Thrice Upon a Time, which has to be one of the greatest anime movies I have ever seen in my life, and it comes up as my second favorite anime movie of all time, only second to one other on this list. Initial D First Stage, Initial D Second Stage, and Initial D Third Stage. I rewatched Death Note and it's just as good as I remember. Tokyo Revengers, Golden Boy, The Way of the House Husband Part 2, Porco Rosso, and all of Gintama. I binged all of Gintama so I could make it in time to watch Gintama the very final in theaters, and Gintama ended up becoming my favorite anime of all time. And the anime movie that I mentioned being my favorite anime movie on this list, that goes to Gintama the very final. It is one of the best conclusions to any anime in any series ever, and Gintama has to just be one of the best overall series I've ever consumed. And then Prison School, Castle in the Sky, and I'm currently watching Initial D Fourth Stage, Master Keaton, Platinum End, Great Teacher Onizuka, School Rumble, Demon Slayer Part 2, Assassination Classroom 2, Mirako-chan, and Sonoju. And you might be wondering why there's so many that I'm currently watching. A lot of them I'm watching with my friends, which means I only get through a few of those episodes for those anime every once in a while. And now it's time for my top 5 anime in 2021. Number 5 goes to Vinland Saga, an absolutely insane anime. And I'm just about to dive into the manga, and I'm super duper excited, as well as season 2 is coming out this year. Vinland Saga is amazing. It's almost one of those anime that you could show to people who just aren't fans of anime, or just, it's not their thing. It's just really, really good. Number 4 goes to Tokyo Revengers. It had to have been one of the best new anime I've ever seen, and it was just super satisfying and amazing to watch. Number 3 goes to Bakuman. Bakuman was such an amazing watch. I watched it with Cisco, and just with its themes and its writings and its character was super good. It's a series about 2 boys trying to make a manga and make it, and it's very inspirational to someone who wants to create content and work in the creative industry, so it was super amazing to watch and incredibly inspiring. And number 2 is, of course, Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 Thrice Upon a Time. But no, that has to be one of the best anime movies I have ever watched in my entire life. And of course, number 1 has to go to Gintama. Gintama is one of the greatest series I've ever consumed and absolutely took over my life. If you've interacted with me in the last few months, you can clearly see that much. I fell head over heels for Gintama. It just hit every one of my tick boxes for what I'm looking for in an anime and manga. I'll never forget this series, and I'm incredibly grateful that I got to experience the amazing ending to this series in theaters. And with that being said, that was all the anime, so we're just gonna jump into the manga. Now, for the ratings for this one, I'm only gonna show the ratings for manga that are finished. So let's just jump right in. JoJo's Part 8, JoJolion, Platinum End, Chainsaw Man, Monster, Attack on Titan, One Piece. And yeah, I have now read all of One Piece, and I am caught up with One Piece. Komi Can't Communicate, Spy Family, Saint Youngman, Asadora, The Emperor and I, Witch Hat Atelier, Witch Watch, Dandadan, which is an amazing manga that you definitely need to read. Put it on your radar, read it, I'm telling you, it's amazing. Blue Box, The Elusive Samurai, Pluto, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, Kaguya-sama Love is War, I'm now caught up with that one. Shouha Shoten, Sakamoto Days, Ayashimon, Protect Me Shogumaru. Don't read that one, don't waste your time. Doran, which is a super good new one, definitely check that one out. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Crazy Diamonds Demonic Heartbreak, one of the coolest names ever. Prison School, Mujarushi, Burn the Witch, Billy Bat, I Belong to the Baddest Girl at School. Funny name, I like that one. And Mashal. Now for my top 5 manga of 2021. Number 5 I gave to I Belong to the Baddest Girl at School. It was a super sweet and adorable romance manga, and I absolutely adored it. It was very short, but it was very, very wholesome and sweet, and I just loved it. It was great. Number 4 is a tie between Chainsaw Man and Billy Bat. If you've read Chainsaw Man, you know why it's in this top 5. The second you probably heard me say Chainsaw Man, you knew it would be in here. But Billy Bat, for it to be tied with Billy Bat is a manga by Urasawa, which is a mangaka that I absolutely fell in love with all of his works. And it's another one like Bakuman that very much inspires me as a creator. It talks about being very authentic to yourself and what you make. Number 3 goes to Platinum End, which is the newest series by Oba and Obata, who made Death Note, and it's absolutely incredible, and I'm very much enjoying the anime, which is airing now. It's a great manga, and definitely check out the anime, and as well as read the manga. Either or is great. Number 2 has to go to JoJolion. I started reading that almost over a year and been keeping up with it monthly until it ended. And I am incredibly sad that it is now ended, and I miss it so much, but it was an incredibly amazing manga. Araki has never failed to disappoint, and I absolutely love JoJolion, and it will go down as one of my favorite JoJo parts ever. And last, but far from being very least, is number 1, Monster. Monster is another manga by Naoki Urasawa, who made Billy Bat as well, and a bunch of other amazing manga. Monster has to have been one of my favorite reads of all time. And it was so deep and interesting, philosophical, and it was so thought-provoking. It was insane. I couldn't, there was points I just couldn't stop myself from turning the pages. It was one of the best things I've ever read in my entire life. It was at points probably almost too smart for me, and every character that he put into those pages, every moment, every word of dialogue, every page mattered, and it was so good and such an amazing read. I highly recommend you sit down and read Monster and just maybe even check out some of Naoki Urasawa's work. He's an incredible writer and mangaka. And with that being said, that is all for this video. I've now talked about all the video games, anime, and manga that I read and watched and played in 2021. If you guys have any recommendations for me or anything, let me know, or if you just want to talk about any of the series that I mentioned in this video, please do. I'd be happy to just delve into a great conversation with that. Thank you guys very much for watching. I've been Linkachu, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Linkachu, out.